Taras Natyshak, federal NDP candidate for Essex.
And we'll get right into the questions. First, economy and jobs. Do you believe Windsor is out of the recession? And what do you propose to do to promote job creation in the area?
No, Windsor is not out of the recession. We are coming out of it slowly, but we still see a massive amount of unemployment. We see a divide in income and a huge income disparity between those who are wealthy and who have made it through the recession relatively unscathed and those that have suffered. And I'm talking about our manufacturing base, certainly our agriculture base, and seniors too as well. So we know that the effects of the recession are still looming in this region, and certainly we need a comprehensive national job strategy to be able to address that. New Democrats have acknowledged that there's still a lot to be done. One of the issues that we realize too as well is that small businesses play an integral part in our economy, and certainly here in our regional economy. Jack Layton and the New Democrats have proposed to aid small businesses in that regard. We know that small businesses contribute to about 50% of the job creation in Canada at any given time. So we have to help them. The proposal puts money on the table for every new hire, roughly $4,500 for every new hire that a small business takes on, and also a retention bonus too as well. If you keep them longer than a year, you'll receive another $1,000 tax credit. So we believe that it's a comprehensive, practical approach to helping small businesses attract employees and retain them.
A lot of times, especially around jobs, the policy is obviously has to be something that's going to work for all Canadians. In Windsor, Essex, we're a little unique. We were hard hit. Do you feel that your party's policy is enough? Is it going to be enough to get our region going if you're elected?
Well, again, due to our interconnection with our partners in the United States and the fragility of their markets, everything has to be on the table. Also, we have to be prepared if the market takes a downturn again, and prepared to invest in other job creation strategies such as infrastructure spending. We know that it gives a good return on investment. So are all the answers rolled into this platform? Certainly not. But if we can maintain our course here and try to promote those strategies that deal directly with the job creators, we think that it can certainly make an impact on our unemployment rates.
We'll switch gears to the environment. What local environmental issue do you think is most pressing, and what do you propose to do about it as the MP elected?
Well, our local environmental issues, certainly being surrounded by the Great Lakes, Lake St. Clair and Lake Erie, and also our beautiful Detroit River. We know that we have to protect our sources of water. Pollution control methodologies and mechanisms certainly have to be enacted and enforced. But the environmental issues are certainly global in nature. But regional in their impacts, and we know that global warming and climate change certainly impacts our agriculture base. We've yet to see a comprehensive plan by this country. We used to be leaders in the forefront back in the day where we addressed the issues of acid rain. No longer. We're seen as sort of a pariah on the environmental stage, and we've put together some very practical steps and comprehensive steps to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. But unfortunately, the unelected Senate and the federal Parliament killed that bill. It was Bill C-11, would have put hard caps on greenhouse gas emissions for industries.
What's your party's position on the new border crossing, and what kind of experience do you have helping to manage a large construction project like the DRIC?
Oh, well, it is an issue, and I'm glad it's been brought up because the Windsor-Essex Parkway and the subsequent new border crossing, to which we really don't know what the name might be. They've proposed names, even they're possibly going to name it after a professional hockey player. Who knows what it will end up being named? But it is and will be one of the largest economic boons to this region. And it's important and it's vital to not only Essex County but the entire country in terms of easing that flow of traffic, easing our trade relationship, and securing our border too as well. We know that the Ambassador Bridge is old and failing and requires a ton of maintenance. we believe that a public crossing is in our best interest, and we fully support the Windsor-Essex Parkway, the construction of that phase. We support the new bridge crossing, whatever it may be called, and we support all financial vehicles and all financial mechanisms that will enable that crossing to be built.
There's a lot of promises in all of the campaign platforms, not just the NDP, but in all of them. What are some of the ways that the NDP is proposing to pay for some of the things that is costed out in the campaign platform?
Well, a different focus on where our revenue comes from. For quite some time, even dating back to the Chrétien era and the Paul Martin era, the emphasis has been on lowering corporate tax rates for the biggest businesses and the most profitable businesses in Canada. Essentially giving more money to the wealthiest. We plan on rolling that back, rolling the marginal income tax for the highest corporations back to a level of around 18.5%. We believe that that income disparity contributes to a lot of the problems, the socioeconomic problems that we see in Canada. So it's another real difference, clear difference between us and the other parties, that we understand that the middle class has been feeling the crunch, and we need to give them some relief. So we'll take hard steps to continue to make sure that we are competitive on a world stage, and always make sure that our corporate tax rate is lower than the United States, but it will provide a substantial amount of revenue so that we can fund these programs and these promises and priorities that we see.
This isn't a campaign question, but it's one of my favorites. If you could have dinner with any three people, historical, current, who would they be and why?
Oh, certainly Nelson Mandela. I even named my dog after Nelson Mandela. Imagine getting to meet with him. I'd love to have dinner with Stephen Harper. Love to sit down with him, find out exactly what he's thinking, and how could we work together? How could we change his mind? How could we see him focus? The third person, who would I love to? Oh my goodness, if I could have dinner. That's a hilarious question. Probably some kind of some rock star that we could go to a concert, dance, eat some great food, and I don't know, who would it be? You know what? I would love to have dinner with the entire Tragically Hip. Go to one of their concerts, just dance all night, and have a great dinner and talk about Canadian arts, Canadian music, and that passion that is our country, and how their music certainly represents this country. So how's that?
Perfect.
Cool.